What's going on, guys? Jacob here, and welcome back to Modern Masculinity. Reject mediocrity. Being mediocre is the standard, and it doesn't take much to rise above that. All it takes is some good habits and skills. For me, it's doing all my university coursework super early and consistently training Muay Thai. Those are my two kind of base good habits. I want to kind of go into the best fields to become consistent and to avoid mediocrity as a beginner. So I obviously just mentioned the two fields that work best for me. But I figured I would give some suggestions to others who are just starting out on their self-improvement journey on how to avoid mediocrity, how to reject it. The first is going to the gym. While I've spoken perhaps not the most favorably about going to the gym in the past, it's undeniable that the gym does give you a better physique than most people. It'll keep you pretty healthy, and it will increase your discipline somewhat. Think about it, if you're starting from a baseline here, and your baseline is you never exercise, it'll take quite a lot of discipline to become consistent in the gym, and to continue doing that will take discipline. It also keeps you somewhat healthy. This really depends on what you do in the gym. If you're going to CrossFit or something, that's going to keep you really quite healthy, right? Because it's high intensity interval training. It'll get your cardio up. It will give you more muscle mass. It'll be a good all-round training regimen. But if you're just doing like powerlifting, that doesn't necessarily make you healthier. Same thing with bodybuilding. In fact, bodybuilding and to some extent powerlifting can actually make you more unhealthy, because you're carrying around extra unnecessary mass that has strain on your joints. And obviously there's the stereotype of bodybuilders having terrible cardio, and that one does ring true a lot of the time. Anyways, the second habit that you could potentially choose as your building block, as your groundwork for building a lifestyle that is based on discipline and not mediocrity, on excellence rather than mediocrity, one might say, is combat sports. Combat sports improves your physique, improves your health, gives you really a lot of discipline and mental strength, and perhaps most importantly, allows you to protect yourself and those you love. I want to break down each one of these. In terms of improving your physique, what's really cool about combat sports is that your physique will be determined, essentially. It will be changed. That is 100% probability. But it'll look different depending on what combat sport you practice. Someone who exclusively does Muay Thai will definitely get lean and probably have a six-pack. Somebody who does wrestling will probably get quite strong, but not necessarily like jacked. Like, you'll get strong, but maybe not super muscular, because you'll have a higher body fat percentage. If you do Taekwondo, you'll be really quite lean, even more so than if you do Muay Thai. But all of these will improve your physique, right? It also improves your health. So you can think specifically of Muay Thai. So when I do like my conditioning classes for Muay Thai, where it's like specifically focused on cardio, I do that about once a week. It's a massive improvement to your cardiovascular health, right? Just from doing repeated kicks and punches and knees and whatnot. And then for like jiu-jitsu or wrestling, it's a little tougher, simply because there's a lot of joint injuries that can happen. But if you combine these things with strength training routine, then you can combine all of them with a strength training routine. It will be very optimal for your health. Combat sports also gives you an insane amount of discipline and mental strength, especially if you're like doing sparring or rolling, because while it's not as intense as a real fight, it's simulating that, and you are getting hit or you are getting choked out, right? So it does give you a lot of discipline and mental strength in the sense that you'll have to push through that. You'll have to stay cool under fire. I've gotten to the point in sparring where I don't flinch. I just stay kind of chill when someone's literally lighting me up. I'm not visibly freaking out, right? And that's mental strength. That's discipline. And it's self-explanatory, but combat sports allow you to protect yourself and those you love. Now, to be entirely honest, Muay Thai maybe isn't the best for this. It's definitely, along with boxing, probably the best striking art for self-defense. But I think overall the best martial art for self-defense, people will say jiu-jitsu, people will say boxing, people will say Muay Thai, people will say, a bunch of things. I frankly think it's wrestling. Wrestlers are so potently dangerous. And I would wrestle if I actually enjoyed it, but I simply don't. I've tried it before. I've tried jiu-jitsu before. I don't really like grappling. But Muay Thai is great for self-defense, and it's actually something that I really enjoy. So there you go. Make sure you're doing something you enjoy throughout this. Make sure you find an interest in it. Otherwise, go and try something else. The next field you could try in order to rise above mediocrity is reading. Reading improves your ability to communicate and increases your attention span. When I talk about increasing your ability to communicate, I simply mean through an improvement in your vocabulary, through an improvement of your sentence structure. It'll just make you a more effective speaker and writer. I attribute a lot of my, I don't know if I would call it eloquence, I would attribute my slightly above average skill with words to the fact that my dad read to me a lot when I was a kid, and I was an avid reader independently. I read a lot when I was young, and I've noticed my vocabulary has actually deteriorated since I was a few years younger because I read so much less now. But that goes to show that reading really, really can improve your ability to communicate. It also increases your attention span, and in today's modern world, this is perhaps the most important benefit of reading. I mean, if you're able to sit down with a book for hours on end, having nothing but words on a page to keep you stimulated, to me, that's a testament to your attention span. And frankly, nowadays, just sitting down to read a book is something that I'm impressed at, especially if someone is Gen Z or younger. The next habit you should engage in to rise above mediocrity is meditation. Not only does it make you more mindful, it makes you less impulsive, and it increases your attention span. So I was meditating consistently every single day for about 2 months. I don't do it anymore. And I found that compared to before I meditated, I definitely have more impulse control now. And my attention span has increased somewhat. I'm killing it now because I'll be going on Facebook Marketplace, and then Facebook will shove a reel in my face, and I get distracted and go down a rabbit hole for 20 minutes. But that does not remove from the fact that meditation does make you more mindful. It makes you more present. It makes you appreciate the things around you all the more. And it makes you appreciate silence. I can enjoy silence now. Sometimes I realize that's what I need. And on to the next habit that can really improve. It can really improve you. It can make you rise above mediocrity, and that's a consistent sleep schedule. It improves your health and makes you more disciplined. A consistent sleep schedule is so important. It's something that I had for months. I had it basically nonstop. Um, I had it pretty much, I would say 95% of the nights between between June and October. I was going to bed consistently at about 10:20 p.m., getting into bed, turning the lights off, and waking up at 6 a.m. I would have continued, but I got a job where I worked in a kitchen at a wine bar, so I would often finish around 11 p.m., and that would totally fuck up my sleep schedule to the point where I abandoned it entirely. But I've noticed my my progress in self-improvement has fallen off so much compared to when I had a consistent sleep schedule. And now that I no longer work that job where I finish late at night, I got laid off through no fault of my own. It was just a staffing issue. We didn't have enough hours. But a consistent sleep schedule might be the most important thing on here. And it might be what you want to start with, frankly. But how does it improve your health? Well, there are so many health benefits to having a consistent sleep schedule and getting enough sleep, but I'll leave that up to the professionals. Andrew Huberman has some great podcasts on it. I'd wholeheartedly recommend those. You don't have to listen to anything I have to say in terms of the science side of everything. Right? I'm not a scientist. But it also makes you more disciplined. And this is something that I found. Being able to tear yourself away from whatever it may be and get to bed at a consistent time, being able to turn down invitations to social functions that you want to go to because you're that committed to your sleep schedule, now that requires discipline. Over the summer, there were multiple occasions where I turned down going to social occasions that I would really have enjoyed because I was so focused on my grind. I was working about 30 hours a week. I was going to train kickboxing. I wasn't doing Muay Thai at the time. It was more like cardio kickboxing. I have my qualms with that gym I used to train at. They were not invested in my improvement at all, but that's besides the point. I was training very often, like 6 times a week, 7 days a week. I'd be working all day, and then I would go to sleep at the same time every night, wake up at the same time every morning. And this led to me turning down a lot of invitations to social gatherings that I feared might go past my bedtime. Yeah, and it was to the point where I was so strict. I was so strict about my bedtime where I couldn't even conceptualize staying up past it. It was almost like being a little kid again, where you're like, this is the time I go to bed, and I have no say in the matter. You know, I'd given up control to the discipline part of my mind. So, pick any one of these, or others, and stick to it. And it'll let you rise above mediocrity within 6 months. I'm going to revise that now. I'm going to say within 3 months. If you have a consistent sleep schedule for 3 months, it will change your life. If you go to the gym for 3 months consistently, it'll change your life. And consistency is key in all of this. If you train combat sports consistently for 3 months, it'll change your life. If you read every day, if you read like 10, 20 pages a day, every single day, it will change your life in 3 months, easily. This has gone on a lot longer than I intended it to, but I just got really interested in the topic, and that is a good thing. So if you stuck around to the end, thank you so much. Please leave a comment down below, and stay reasonably hard.